WUSA 9 Weather Watch Alert is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
I'm Miri Marshall, the WUSA 9 Weather Center. We are under a weather watch alert from the impacts from Tropical Storm Ophelia. Now, this storm is barely holding on to tropical storm status. The winds are now down to about 45 miles per hour. Earlier this morning, as I was tracking this, the winds were at 70. So we're seeing those winds come down. It is consistently weakening, but having still some major impacts across the region from the Carolinas to right here in the DMV. Gusts with this storm are still at 65 miles per hour. And as of the latest update, it is about 95 miles from Richmond, Virginia, moving to the north at a pace of 13 miles per hour. So we are expecting to continue to see the cloudy conditions outside along with numerous showers, and even a few storms now have just popped up along the eastern shore. So in DC Metro, we have mostly light to moderate rain falling across the entire region, but we can see also there is a band of moderate to heavy rain along with some storms just north of the Salisbury area and just approaching Ocean City. To the south of us, where we find the center of the storm, south of Richmond, we already have flash flood warnings going into effect there. We can see that flooding is a huge threat with this tropical system as it works its way across the DMV. So around Ocean City, a storm just to the north, more over the ocean, and north of Salisbury is where we have some thunderstorms going now as well. Here's what you can expect for the rest of the day. This storm will continue to move up to the north, but as it does, it will lose its tropical features, and so we'll be left with what was Tropical Storm Ophelia. However, Ophelia, there'll still be several impacts from this, including rain throughout today and tonight, and through at least 12 o'clock tomorrow is when we're going to get the bulk of the rain. This is your Sunday early morning at about 9:30 a.m. and then this is your Sunday afternoon. We'll begin to see those showers gradually push out of the area. So a long way to go when it comes from the impacts of Ophelia. By the hour, this is what it looks like. 4:30 today, still dealing with some pockets of moderate to heavy rain. This is at 7 o'clock in the evening. There's some scattered showers around with pockets of moderate to heavy rain. Same at 10 o'clock tonight. And then this is your Sunday morning at 5 a.m. Light to moderate showers are falling here. An improvement by 1 o'clock. As the Commanders game is getting underway, you'll notice less steady showers. They'll be, again, more sparse and also a bit lighter. So it'll gradually improve, but there will be still a few lingering showers left over until early Sunday afternoon. Here's what we're looking at in terms of wind gusts. We'll continue to see those winds pick up. Could see gusts at more than 40 miles per hour in the Anne Arundel County area, and even here in Metro DC, we could still see those gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. Rainfall estimates have been at more than 2 inches, even in some spots near Salisbury. Under those heavier bands, radar estimates upwards of 3 inches there. Not official numbers, but estimates enough to show that we definitely still have a long way to go when it comes to this rain, and we could see more flooding impacts. Winds right now are gusting to 35 miles per hour in DC, and they are going to continue to pick up. So here's what you should know. Rain now until Sunday at 11 a.m. at about 12 o'clock, and then gusts 20 to 30 miles per hour. We'll also have a wind advisory in place until 8 p.m. Power outages, downed trees, power lines, coastal flooding, all possible with this. We'll send things over now to Evan Kozlov, who is tracking this for us and showing us some pretty breezy conditions there along the beaches, Evan.
Yeah, this is not a beach day today, and I'm glad that you kept bringing up the wind and the wind gusts, because that's really the story where we are right now. We are in North Beach, that's right off of the Chesapeake Bay. We had some ferocious rain probably about 10 minutes ago. That's now mercifully stopped, but this wind is continuing. Just walk with me and look here. You're gonna see the waves coming in as they crash in. And this is about 5 hours after high tide here in North Beach, right by Chesapeake Beach, just north of that, where, yeah, like we're saying, the wind has been a big issue. We've had cars intermittently pulling up just to get a photo of all this, because it is pretty spectacular to look out and see it. And maybe if we look over here and zoom in on that flag, it'll give you guys a little bit of an indication of just how windy it is, as well as, well, probably you could just hear it through the microphone. It's pretty bad out here. Now, earlier today, around 12:30, we went over to Haynes Point. We want to show what it looks like a little closer to DC. Pretty high. This is right across from the wharf. I went over to the wharf. There were not a lot of people that were walking there because it was wet, it was soggy, it was windy, it was not fun. We did see one person, though, who was not going to be deterred from doing his Saturday activities just because there's a tropical storm on the way. Take a listen. Tropical storm coming. What were you doing this morning?
I decided to come hit some golf balls down here at East Potomac. Clearly the weather was very nice, so I thought I had to get out here. The weather's going to be bad the next few days, so I thought I'd try to get it in, before it really starts coming down.
There you go. You gotta do a little golf, right? Who cares that there's a tropical storm? So that's what was happening down at Haynes Point. But again, back up here in North Beach, the story of the day is just these heavy winds, which is contributing to some really large waves. We did see one person earlier today who was out there actually windsurfing, which sounds dangerous with this level of waves, but also sounds maybe some fun. One last anecdote I want to tell you about. We are standing in front of an inn here in North Beach. We found out that there was a wedding that was supposed to be happening outside of this venue, but that's not going to be happening, or if it is, it's going to be changing because of this storm. So we're seeing the consequences as it continues to be pretty ferocious out here in North Beach. I'll send it back to you, Mary.
All right, Evan, you're one of the areas where we're going to see a lot of huge impacts, especially in terms of coastal flooding, which is what we're looking at here as well. So again, just recapping, the center of the storm is still well south of us, but bringing some major impacts. Flash flooding happening just south of the Richmond area. You can see numerous flash flood warnings going on there as the storm slowly moves its way to the north. Around Metro DC, no flood warnings now, but we do have a new flood watch that is going to be in place for this evening until early Sunday morning for slowly rising water. Not necessarily flash flooding, but in a few areas where you get those heavier bands of rain to come in, we could see flooding in some neighborhoods. Right now, I'm spotting the heaviest bands that are going to be just north of Salisbury and just near the Ocean City area, where we also have some thunderstorms going as well. This storm will continue to move up to the north. As it does, it's going to lose its tropical features, but still pack quite the punch. This is Saturday at 8 o'clock at night. We see the center of it near Norfolk, and then by 2 a.m., the storm is no longer tropical, but around the metro area. This is Sunday at 9:30. This is the tail end of it before it begins to push away from the area. We're still going to have some showers left over on Sunday, but nothing like we're seeing today. The next few hours are going to be critical because this is when we're going to be able to see more of those moderate to heavy rain bands work their way in. This is Saturday at 5 o'clock. We can see numerous rounds of moderate to heavy rain coming in. Same at about 7 p.m., although they're a bit more scattered there. And then 10 o'clock tonight, we still have some scattered storms or rain, I should say. Pockets of moderate to heavy rain will be embedded within it, so we could continue to see that flood threat even through tonight. Here's your Sunday morning, 5:30 a.m. You still have some moderate rain left over, and then an improvement by around 1 o'clock or so in the afternoon. Those showers are lighter. They're a bit more sparse. You might be able to go outside for a minute, but we will see an improvement throughout Sunday evening with just a few stray showers. Winds will continue to pick up. It's not just a rain event. It's wind as well. Winds gusting to 43 miles per hour, potentially in Annapolis, and we could see winds anywhere from gusts from 50 to 60 miles per hour here in Metro DC. And rain has been picking up. Now, a new radar estimate near the Salisbury area shows that they could have gotten upwards of 3 inches of rain already, and there is much more to come. This is a long duration event that we'll be dealing with. Currently, winds right now are gusting up to 35 miles per hour in DC. That's some of the strongest we've seen. And then along the bay, we've got a gust of 39 miles per hour, but those stronger gusts are still to come. Again, so we are looking at the coastal flooding impacts, down trees and power lines, but the newest update that we want to share is that there is a flood watch that is going into effect until 8 o'clock Sunday morning. Again, some low-lying areas, there could be some local street flooding. This would be slowly, gradually rising water, but the potential is there, especially if you get caught up under those rain bands. The areas included in this flood watch are DC, Arlington, Fairfax, Fairfax City, King George, Spotsylvania, Stafford, Prince George's, Montgomery, and Charles counties, all included within that. It is 64 degrees right now. Winds are up to 24 miles per hour with 35 mile per hour gusts. The rest of your day is going to feature more of the same. 60s, not much rain, not much in terms of clearing the clouds or the rain, and the temperatures won't fluctuate very much. Just damp and chilly and windy out there for today. Your Saturday, 65 degrees for the high, 69 on Sunday with those showers sticking around, and then you're going to see Ophelia gradually move up to the north and the east. By Sunday morning, it's definitely not a tropical storm anymore, but again, we will still be feeling those impacts from that system. Now, there are tropical storm warnings that cover St. Mary's and even the Calvert County areas, so those areas are seeing some of the bigger impacts. That wind advisory does cover the majority of the DMV, again, gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. And rain, we've already seen a radar estimate of 3 inches around Salisbury. There could be even more on the way. They could pick up another 2 inches or so. Another 1 inch is on the way potentially for the Metro DC area. Now, severe weather, we're mostly dealing with hazardous weather versus severe thunderstorms. We could see a few isolated tornadoes break out across the eastern area, Cambridge and Georgetown, but overall, the risk of us seeing an actual severe storm is pretty low. This is mostly rain and wind, but with flooding, so hazardous weather, even if we don't get a bona fide severe storm to come in. Coastal flooding, can't talk enough about this. This is going to be a big concern for us. There are numerous coastal flood warnings and advisories in place across the region. This is what we are seeing in the next few hours, and this will last all the way until Sunday morning. So a lot to talk about here. And of course, a storm surge will be an issue, especially in far southern Maryland. Now, if you are heading to the Commanders game tomorrow, again, you'll still want at least a poncho, a towel to dry yourself off, maybe even a sweatshirt. Temperatures will be in the 60s, and we will have some showers out there, especially at the start of the game. 7-day forecast, look for those temperatures right there in the upper 60s on Sunday. We're right around 70 on Monday, 71 on Tuesday, and then we're right at 70 by Wednesday. Now, each of these days, we could see at least a stray shower passing across the area. I don't see a washout, but at some point during those days, we could get a shower to drop. We'll continue to track more of this for you. My colleague, Michaela Lucero, has just walked in, and she's also going to be tracking the impacts later on this evening, especially as we get more of those bands of moderate to heavy rain to come in.